Hello, and welcome to another edition of Droppin Baums with me, your host, Corey Baumeister. As always, with the lovely folks here at TCGplayer.com, bringing you the best in trading card needs. Okay, so today we are playing White Weenie, or Azorius Aggro, however you want to call it. It is a very aggressive white deck with blue cards in the sideboard for interactions along with Deputy of Detention. This is a deck that has just been that hasn't really gotten worse over time, and it has been a dominating force since the last Mythic Championship we played, and I don't think it's going to be any different for Cleveland here moving forward. We played five great matches against every single Tier 1 strategy in the format. We played the Mirror, we played Drakes, we played Red, we played Esper Control, we played Sultai. That's how diverse Standard is right now, and we played them all. Check out how we did against them here. You can fast forward to any of the matches here on our timestamps below. Also, check out TCGplayer.com, where I have a short write-up along with my sideboard guide. Stay tuned and enjoy the games, everybody. And welcome to the games, everybody. Okay, let's start the battling. I had a lot of success with this deck last weekend. I still think it's very well positioned. I think it's just a streamlined, good deck. The blue adds an extra element that the deck didn't really have before, so let's crush some people. We won the die roll. A few too many lands here, but I still think this is a keep. You know, 5 lands you mulligan for sure, but 4 lands is still decent if the rest of your hand is good. So we're going to go with the landing to start because it actually has power. Snubs gets there pretty quick in the right matchups, but some matchups Snubs can be quite bad. Ooh, we got a mirror match. Alright, we played a few of these this last weekend. Well, we're just going to go like this, Hallowed Fountain, and say go. Land draw is definitely not what we wanted. We'd be okay if we never drew another land for the rest of the game. Alright. Stone Cold Mirror, it looks like. Our opponent is straight copying us. Except their draw is just a wee bit better. Now, at least with playing Marshal, we're going to force them to... Ooh. That's a great card. It's a great card in the mirror. Now, with the Marshal, we're going to at least force them to push in some bad attacks if they really do want to flip Legion's Landing. Deputy is like the reason to be playing white for the aggressive matchups. It's one of the best cards in the White Weenie Mirror. And it still has applications against like wilderness reclamations, other kind of strategies like that. It's not the best there because usually when they play that, they're backing it up with some counter. But sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you have to go for it. And it can also hit like Lyras in the right kind of deck and stuff like that too. So. Alright, so yeah, if our opponent decided to attack in, they would lose everything. 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 permanents. We're going to get those snubs. That's going to be a blowout. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh. Still pretty good. Oh, that ascends us right there. Or I could take the Loxodon here just so I could get in damage and flip the Legion's Landing. It's not a horrible idea. Because there's a high likelihood that our opponent can deal with the Deputy. Yeah, I think we got to do that, unfortunately. We do get a lot of damage in here as well. Alright, we'll take this. We will take 2. Yeah, any 1-drop there was a great draw for an extra 3 points of damage from our snubs. Alright, boom, boom, boom. Transform. Now we got a couple blockers here as well. We can't really do too much damage to them, but So they will probably get to flip theirs as well. Four, five, six, 7 permanents. So they do probably need a land to ascend these snubs. Or they need to attack just to be able to play like a History Benalia or something. Conclave, probably our deputy. Ooh, takes the Marshal. Interesting. Well, that does kind of brick our attacks for now. That's unfortunate. And another draw off the top is not what we wanted to see. So we can only attack with the flyer, unfortunately. Then we can make a token off our Adonto land. Still not horrendous, but our opponent still has 3 cards in hand. So I do not like our position. But we're a couple good top decks away from getting back into it. But yeah, I mean, if we draw like 2 more lands, I think we're just pretty much stone cold dead here. Hawk is very good in this. Maybe there should be some reason to play some Pride Mates if we're going to be going down that route. Easily could be the case. Alright, our opponent's just going big. So our opponent is at 8. There is probably just a chance that we could sweep this with a good draw. That's another flyer. That's not terrible. And we'll go like this. That's an effective flyer. We'll get on in there. And we will pass it back. Now our opponent's board is going to be scary because there's a very high likelihood that our opponent can ascend now. Here comes the 3 attackers. I want to get this off the board. I don't like lifelink right now. I think that's really all we can get off the board. So we can go like this, and then we can actually... Oh, I should have made another token here. We can go like this for blockers to gain a little bit extra life. I didn't really want to block these yet, just because maybe I still want to get aggressive. And if our opponent kills the tokens here, I think we were okay with that as well. And that's an ascend. Definitely scary because now our opponent's starting to pull very far ahead. Doesn't help us too much. Still going to get in there with the flyers. Can't back down yet. Yeah, now our clock is just way too slow. Our opponent's power and toughness ratio compared to ours is just way too bad. So, not looking good for the home team out there, my fellow Dropping Bombs fans. But we don't give up yet. I mean, like a deputy or something taking out snubs would be quite strong. And our opponent still can't go nuts as far as attackers just because they got to be a little afraid of the crackback. Not a lot. The only value we're gaining is 1/1/1 a turn. But Adonto is insane. You know, you can't be overly aggressive from their side. Alright, opponent just deciding what's the correct attacks, and I'm guessing it would be something like just the snubs. Ooh. Kind of like that Adonto attack for us. I'm going to happily block with this. I don't think they can pay 4, plus we get a flyer out of it. Yeah, that didn't seem like a good attack to me. So if I just take it and top deck a way to remove one of these cards, that's 2 blockers for these 2. Yeah, still nowhere near lethal, so I got to play a little bit of defense. So I think we'll just block here and here and call it a day. Both those creatures aren't really doing anything anyways, and at least this upgrades to a flyer. Get a little life linkers in there. And I want to leave both snubs alive versus the Loxodon in case I draw my other deputy. Now we really need a big payoff top deck here. That is a good one. It might be a little too late though. So how many blockers do we need to stay alive? We need 4 of them. 4 of them or 1 lifelinker. Kind of thinking I want to upgrade this, the flyer, deputy because I don't want to block with it anyways, and the Adonto token. I'm going to make one and then upgrade, leave 2 tokens back plus a Loxodon. Does that do it? Block, block, block. Take 4, 9. But gain 2, nope. Well, we could block there, we could block there, take 7, but gain 2. Okay, well that's lethal if they don't have literally anything. So that's not the best hope for us, but alright. So we're going to tap this, we're going to tap this, we're going to tap this flyer. And either pay 2 or tap 1 more. I think just pay 2 here. That many blockers at least is pretty assured that we stay alive. Can't really attack. We're in defense mode now. Now our airstrike force is actually going to be a little bit decently strong. So technically I didn't have to Adonto first if I didn't actually upgrade it, but most of these decks don't play any instants or anything anyways, so it's not a huge deal. Bodyguard, protecting the Marshal, I'm guessing. Yep. That definitely would be our blocks. With the Loxodon anyways. Now, once again, our opponent has to be very, very safe with the attacks. They are on the aggressive, so they should attack with something, but they can't get carried away. They can't get carried away, or they, you know, could risk being attacked back for lethal here. And you notice the creatures that I tapped were the ones that I didn't want to block with. And I would have loved to tap 2 more and just upgrade them all, but I would be dead. So that play does not work. Those snubs are big. The snubs can be really bad at times, but they can also just be amazing at times. So it's a very polarizing card. Okay. Well, I think I want to go here, here, and here. That's the blocks I want to do. I'm dealing with some stuff. Well, maybe forcing our opponent to pay for life, which seems very dangerous. Yep, nope, not the case. Gain 3. And we're not in the worst position right now, then. Ooh, Conclave's pretty bad. Getting Deputy out of there, I imagine. Okay. Ooh, Conclave of our own. Deputy would have been insane. We could have taken both Conclaves. So with just this, I think... we want to just get our Marshal back. Problem is these creatures are just gigantic right now. Maybe just getting their Marshal out of the way is better? It's a tricky one. I think it's pretty bad regardless for us, but I think we want to block with our Deputy more than our Flyer. So we have to... get back our Deputy. And then make a token and hope for the best. Yikes. That could be game. Oh my god, yeah. Deputy off the top. We get to Deputy the Conclaves and then Deputy the Snubs. That's what we need. We need our one of Deputy and it would be absolutely broken. Because we can live through this attack. If we go like this, we go to 1. That's what we have to do. But now the Deputy off the top and we're actually, like, gonna be okay. We only have 1 left in the main deck, though. Oh. Okay, so can this keep us alive? Block, block, block with our token, gain 1, and then Bodyguard hits us. So no, we're exactly dead. We were fighting the good fight. I mean, that's how good a flip to Danto is. That gave us a lot more time than we actually should have had. Like, our opponent drew better and played, or I mean, I wouldn't say played better, but our opponent drew better than us. And yeah, just we put ourselves in a chance to win that match, even though it did not look good. So I like Baffling Ends. I like a Johnny. So now we'd have to take out 2 cards. Maybe I don't like a Johnny too much. Kind of just like this. It's nice and streamlined. It's fast. It's interactive. Deputy is insane. So we're just going to run with this. Deputy is the new sheriff in town, to say the least. I was doing some insane things with Deputy this last week in the mocks, and it's just, it was great. I 7-1 the tournament. I only lost 2 games. 2 games is my 1 loss. Otherwise, I just 6-0, 12-0'd the other matches. I mean, it felt great. It felt great. My only loss was to the mirror. Now, there's certain cards that we can think about as far as what to play. I think the Unbreakable Formation is a very good card. I tend to just like the Deputy more, but I could see a world where maybe we could play both. This sounds very good. We got payoffs. Our opponent beat us in the long game because their creatures were just bigger, and I couldn't actually kill them, even though we had a bunch of chump blockers. But now we have the early payoffs. If we can top deck... I mean, on turn 4, it's already going to be a very good play, but if we can top deck a 1, or just, you know, some play next turn, we could possibly play this on turn 3. Any 1 or 2 drop. I guess we don't have any 2 drops left in our deck, but any 1 drop would probably be pretty good. I tend to not like that card very much, but I mean, it's somewhat decent in this spot. Okay, so just land go. Not ideal, of course, in the White Weenie Mirror, but History of Benalia is ideal, so that's a great play next turn that I will never complain about. Alright, our opponent may be having somewhat of the nut draw. Or maybe just that, and then that's not that bad at all. Pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, history time. Hoping our opponent doesn't also have a history. Now next turn we get to have a nice Loxodon turn. Now we're hoping we draw a creature too to add to the Loxodon. This could be a Loxodon. This could be a very good Loxodon if they have it. Yep. Yep. Our opponent's draw is better than ours so far, but it's definitely not over. So we get to kind of do the same this turn. Ooh. It's a good card. Oh my, we can play both. We can play both. Wow. Okay. Well, we don't get any crazy 2-for-1s, but we can get rid of this Loxodon, which I think is worth it. So we got a nice turn here. We're going to get rid of the Loxodon, and our opponent did miss a land drop here. So now we get in a free 2 points of damage here before we cast our Loxodon. And now next turn we are just crushing in with some damage with history coming off. Zoinks, 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 zoinks. Alright. I see your play, good sir and or madam, and I raise. Now these all get bigger next turn, plus Loxodon is still big. Maybe we get to do another one. Maybe we just want a conclave. Like, that Deputy put us in a winning position here where I think plenty of ways where we can lose the game, but I think it's going to be a little tricky for them to win from this point. Alright, what do you got? What do you got? So just chump attacking essentially to flip the landing. We're cool with that. Gonna block here. Yeah, that's the kind of play that is really rough to be making. You're trading free resources here unless you really need that land for like a history or something, but I would imagine our opponent is quite in trouble, unless they have a Deputy for our tokens. Deputy for the tokens is something they really needed there, but that is not that big of a deal. Alright, that's a great draw more than likely. Boom. Okay. So, if we attack with everything... Yeah, because Deputy can't die, so I can even get that in there. So we are going. We are going in. And then post-combat, we get to go Sky Marcher plus Loxodon again. That should just wrap it up. Alright, so this has our opponent taking 11. And just double chump blocking. That's just game at that point. But yeah, maybe you can block the deputy to keep it alive. Oh, just trying to kill something. That's probably fine. Okay. Think I'd rather get rid of, yeah, probably snub, since it does have a +1/+1 counter on it. We'll kill that. Smash, smash, smash! Okay, then we'll get a flyer. And we'll do another Loxodon for safe measures. Boom. Your turn. It's gonna be that's gonna be a tough one. Nice to force the game 3. Deputy did some work there. That timely deputy draw was really what gave it to us. Now, Bodyguard is kind of the card that I think is quite weak as far as the 1-drops. So I think on the draw, I might be okay with a couple of these. This card hasn't been that bad for me. We'll go 2 and 2. I think it is a pretty decent defensive card. Being able to get a flyer and chump block something is not too bad. It's not too bad. It's not great by any means, but... Alright. Give us a good one. Ooh, that's a good one. We'll keep. That's a keep. Oh my, yep, that's a good draw. That is a good draw. Now we can do the double creature next turn. And if our opponent goes in, we're blocking. When you're on the draw, you got to play a little defensive. Okay. Protecting Sky Marcher. Oh, yeah. I don't think that's a very good attack on our opponent, especially since they're trying to ascend. Okay, now we got the option for 2 plays. And I think it's just going to be landing in this. Save the snubs for later. Snubs is a really good, play snubs, then Loxodon in a later turn where it also ascends. Then you just, all of a sudden, have so much power on the board. So we're just trying to keep them off an insane Loxodon turn as well, was the main reason we blocked there. Plus, this flyer can get annoying, so... And we didn't want 2 tokens in case they do have Deputy. Ooh, and we have the Deputy for their history tokens, not this turn, but next turn. That's huge. Oh my. Our draw is just so good right now. Alright, so we'll go history. Yeah, oh my. Oh my, everybody. We get to do one of my favorite sequences here. Next turn, we'll get another history token. Then we can Deputy away their history tokens. And then you tap all 5 creatures to make a giant card. Oh. Dang. Tecatli just shut that plan down. That's not cool. Alright. It is definitely less cool. I don't think we want to block yet. We'll just take the damage. Unfortunate. Well... Still think we want to take those tokens. Our opponent is handless, so it's not like we're in the worst shape or anything. So we'll Deputy here. Oh yeah, that stops Tecatli too, or that gets stopped by Tecatli as well. Dang, Tecatli was good. Wow. Yikes. Yep. Tecatli next leveled us there. Alright, then we will cast Snubs. And then we are going to Loxodon with the creatures we don't plan on blocking with. Just to get a big creature into play. So we can only leave one creature back. Maybe that's just really bad. That's probably just bad. Yikes. I think we just have to say go. Touche, Tecatli, touche. We do have the advantage if we can attack next turn to be able to flip Legion's Landing when we're both attritioned out here, but something like a Marshal from our opponent might just be a little bit too much for us. Okay, so I'd like this. I like this. Maybe just take 12? Ugh. I think I just have to take 12 so I can flip Legion's Landing. Or I chump with one of these tokens. That's probably correct. And then attack with these. Okie dokie. Still think we're sitting okay, but there's definite draws that can really get us right here. That Tecatli was nice. Ooh, that's kind of bad too. There we go. Answered immediately. Okay, so we got to get in there. Flip the Legions. Throwing away the Deputy here, but it is worth it. Okay. Now we could just Sky Marcher and make this, but I don't like that much. I kind of like Aspirant and then Loxodon, tapping one of the tokens and leaving the flyer, a token, and Loxodon back. Flyer goes here. Loxodon can block something. The token, but yep, that's a good play. And then we have a Danto after that. Alrighty. Unfortunately, that ability is shut down as well by Tecatli. Are we dead to a removal spell now? Not quite. We're not dead to any draw specifically right now, but a Marshal or a Conclave could just be a little bit too much for us to deal with. Alright. So we'll block here, and we'll block here, and then we'll block here. Try to soak up as much damage as we can. Boom. Alright, now we're ahead on board. Ah, I hate that flyer. I was going to say we're ahead on board, but that flyer gets us real good. Now we got to be getting in there. We got to pressure. That was actually not a bad draw. So we have to be the aggressor here. But that's another lifelinker that we get to attack with. So we should be okay. Four to four, doesn't get much closer. Snubs, yep, already ascended, so that's a 3-3. Alright, we're going to have to attack in with our lifelinkers, unfortunately. And if we're attacking in with our lifelinkers, we might as well attack with everything. What would be the blocks? Snubs here, Tecatli here, this here, Our opponent would have 2 creatures alive. We would go to 4. They would go to 3. And then I would have 0 blockers going back, but I can make 1. I could make 1 to block here, and then take 2, 3, go down to, well, then I'd gain life, so I'd go down to 2. Maybe I don't have to attack with this? No, I think it's right. Get on in there. Unfortunately, we're 1 land off from double Odontoing here. Oh, I shouldn't have made that token first. Now if they top deck a Conclave or something, then we just lose. Yeah, there was no reason to make that token. That was super bad. We could have just threw this game away. Yep, that was bad. Yikes. Marshal! No, that was going to kill us anyways. That was Exacxy lethals. Oh, no. No. Ugh. That was a brutal loss. That was a good game, though. That was a really good game. Sadly, that's what it kind of comes down to sometimes when it comes to these white mirrors, is those really key turns, and most of the time it's either Marshal or Conclave. Maybe I could have left back the token, I guess. If I just leave back the Knight and attack with the 2 Lifelinkers and the 4/4, then it's probably still the same blocks, except they take 0. And then I have another blocker. They still attack with both of those, and I have to double chump. Yeah, I think we still lose either way, but we would have survived that turn at least. I think my play was a little bit more high risk, high reward. Basically saying you have to have a Marshal or a Conclave on top. Still should not have made the token before the Odonto flip, because it didn't give me any extra value. So that was a mistake there. But yeah, I still would have lost either way. But still, that's, you know, lessons like this, you want to learn to be making clean plays as much as possible. Stay tuned for the second round. Okay, so we're on the draw. This is a little sketchy, but hands like this I actually really like keeping on the draw, because not only do we have a bunch of 1-drops, so we're still going to be casting things, we have ways to convoke our bigger spells, plus a payoff when we finally get to 3, even if it's on turn 5 or whatever, it's still good. So I'm going to keep this. Plus we have Odontos to finally get there. Like, this deck has a lot of ways to cheat stuff in, and what I mean by cheat stuff in is like the convoke, the adding extra lands here. Like, it's a 20 land deck, but realistically, it's got a couple other ways to produce mana in there. So we're on the draw. On the draw. Okay, that was a great draw. We're going to start with this. Ooh, if this is at Drake's, this is a great matchup for us. Pretty tough one. Yep. We kind of smashed this matchup. This is one of the main reasons at the last Pro Tour why people were not as thrilled with Drake's, because they were really getting beaten this matchup quite badly. And that's pretty much what I did to people last weekend in the mocks. I kind of destroyed people whenever they played an island. Well, I destroyed everybody except that one round, so. Sick humble brags, I know. Now, next turn, we get to do some nice stuff here. Even an Enigma Drake or something we don't even really care about. If our opponent goes Enigma Drake, next turn we probably just go Marshal and tap all 4 of them to Conclave it. Just not really giving them a chance to get their footing. Plus, we couldn't attack into it very well. So we'll see what they do. Regardless, we're in a pretty good spot. Shoot some lizards while you wait. Main deck Melody. Yikes. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, that was also pretty good. That's definitely our play. Get on in there. We'll say go. Our opponent might have a nice little teched out list here for the best of 3 ladder. All right, let the cantrips begin. But our hand is great. Like, these are the 3 like best options for the late game. So I am not too worried yet. Okay, still not too big of a deal. Our opponent's just really trying to stop us from Legion's landing here. But I think this is just going to be a turn where if we need a land, we needed a land. We needed a land for a pretty sick play to be able to Marshal and Loxodon. Now, it's probably just Loxodon here. So we don't want to attack into this yet. So we're just going to do this, say go. Our opponent has been doing a good job at keeping us away from our insane turns. Like, insane turn there, if they didn't Lava Coil, would have been Marshal, tap all of them, and then play Loxodon. But our opponent has been killing and stealing our creatures every turn. All right, stuck on land though, so that's pretty tough for them. And we'll probably get to flip Legion's landing. All right. Now Lava Coil on this would be quite obnoxious. Yeah, wow. But we do get to attack next turn thanks to Marshal. With everything. So we're going to just play this. Get on in there. Play a land tapped. We're really trying to flip this. We might need the inevitability with how much our opponent is killing everything. Like right now, these are not looking that good when our opponent's not just playing threats. Sure, we can kill, we can do a cute play of killing our aspirant with this and then conclaving our, okay, there we go. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Now our opponent's just dead. Just pay the mana here. We get to flip Legion's landing. And just win the game, I guess, is pretty good. Boom. Hiya! So games 2 and 3 do get a little harder because they could have those pirate clasms. Snubhorn Setri is actually pretty good in those scenarios. So I like a Johnny because it's pretty hard for them to attack. No, I don't like Baffling End. Deputy's pretty good. And I don't know why it's not showing our island in this. We have an island in the sideboard. That's not a great feature here. It's in the deck. It's in the deck list, but I don't know why it's not giving it to us. Luckily, we don't want to bring it in this matchup, but if we play against Control or Nexus, we for sure want to bring it in. So that's a bit uncool from the arena side. So cards that are very low impact are Healer's Hawk here. We don't really care about gaining life. We don't win by a small amount. We win by quite the extraordinary amount. Spell Pierce could be okay. I could see a couple of these. Just for those timely spells. Entrancing Melody is the main thing I have in mind when it comes to that. So we're going to run this. I don't want to play full-on negates because they don't play that many spells. But it might be a good get-ya turn here. The pretty noodles. Noodles are pretty. Alright, like I said, we're in a good matchup here. Yikes! We're gonna have to mulligan that one. That's too many lands. That's even too many lands, but we gotta keep this. 2 to 3 landers are the ideal starting hands, but our opponent is on the mull to Oblivion here, so that's probably okay for us. But our hand does nothing for quite a while. Okay, well that definitely helps. That's a payoff spell. 0-3, your turn. Alright, that's a great draw. We will not be attacking. Alright, those were 2 great draws off the top. 2 great, very powerful draws. Alright, so now it's just history time. Hope it resolves. Sad. But next turn we can go Bodyguard plus Loxodon. That's still a great play. Yeah, the problem is those Pyroclasms, while they are, like, decent, they don't really kill everything in the deck, which is a big problem. So here we can Deputy this, but for now we just want to get our creatures in play. Alright, that's a great turn. So now we're going to ascend pretty soon. That's 7 permanents, 8, 9. So we would need a 1 or a 2 drop to be able to ascend next turn. A land would not do it. Never mind. Never you mind. Our opponent's not going to ascend for a while, though, on the bright side. And now we do get in 7 points of damage. Entrancing Melody is quite obnoxious. Another land off the top is for sure not what we don't want to see. Six land, way too many. We got some aggressive elements here, but if our opponent even just has a lava coil right now, we don't really get in any damage, especially lava coiling that. Then we actually do still get in damage. We would just trade with Enigma Drake, but that would be quite good right now. The deputies are not as good as conclaves in this matchup. I'm surprised our opponent didn't attack there. Really conscious of their library, but they have so few cards, I think they just have to. But if you got Spell Pierce in hand, like, Spell Pierce is quite dead at this point. It already did great work. Ooh. Conclave attack for 8? Maybe it's not worth it to hit the snubs? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I think we're supposed to just be okay attacking here. Try to kill a Crackling Drake or something instead. Your turn. Like, if our opponent goes Crackling Drake here, we feel real smart. Or, God forbid, a Niv Mizzet in a couple of turns. Ooh. Beacon Bolt. That's pretty good. Beacon Bolt's a good magic card. Now we gotta get rid of snubs, and we wish we did it last turn. Well, that could be good. We do have a 2-turn clock with a counterspell backup, so we're going to give it a shot. Even if our opponent has dive down here, we probably have to Spell Pierce it. Maybe not. So if our opponent goes Beacon Bolt on the Deputy, then we're just like dead. Alright. Still get to attack. Get in 1 point of damage. Now we hope our opponent just doesn't have a land and just Beacon Bolts the Deputy. That's like our only hope to get ourselves out of that. Oh, now we're just dead. Now we're in trouble. Yikes. I'm going to counter it. Not going to get any value off it any other way here. But the Beacon Bolt on this to get the Enigma Drake, then it's a 2-turn clock. So that's not what we want. Yeah, shock that. Beacon Bolt Deputy. Well, I guess I can't Beacon Bolt now. Okay. Now maybe if we top deck a Conclave. Nope. The 7th land out of White Weenie usually does not get there. Believe it or not, folks. Alright, game 3. On the play, so we're definitely advantaged. We didn't see any Pirate Clasms. We did see Spell Pierce still remaining in, which does make me a little weary. I don't think we want our Spell Pierces on the play. Now our opponent does have Enigma Drake and Terramander. So maybe we're okay with one Baffling End here. I would rather this be a Conclave Tribunal, but we just don't have it in the deck. Maybe Deputy is just not very good. It's got to be good enough. Deputy is actually pretty good at killing the creatures they steal from us. Because then if Deputy ever dies, we get it back. So I think that's what I'm going to use Deputy mainly for. Try to use the enchantments on their spells and the Deputy on the ones they steal from us. Alright, I'd love to play first. Ooh. Not bad. Not bad. Maybe our opponent won't kill anything and we can actually have some busted draws. So we'll pass here. Island isn't going to kill this bodyguard. Okay. We'll cast this. Protecting that. Hallowed Fountain. And attack. Ooh, Steam Vent's tapped. We like that. Okay. Well, I just think it's Marshal here. And we could go Loxodon. Nah. Rather force them to have to kill that than steal one of our bodyguards. I guess they can't really steal a bodyguard. Because we can just sacrifice him. So bodyguard's actually pretty good against him. Now if our opponent does just go like Enigma Drake, we can go the TT into a Loxodon and just tap them all. That'd be probably good enough. Yep. That'll change our play a little bit. Now we can't do that play unless we draw land. Now a shock would be kind of bad. Yeah, now I think we just want to cast these Loxodons whenever we can. History's not that good right now because I don't want to walk into Spell Pierce. So I think we'll just get the Loxodon down while we can. Alright, add 6 power for 3 mana, still pretty good. Gives our opponent a little bit of a free turn, but I think it's what we needed to do. And now if they play like Enigma Drake or Crackling Drake, since we don't have that good of attacks, we'll probably just upgrade these again with another one. So we can still attack with Loxodon very freely and openly. Yeah, our opponent's in trouble. Oh my. Oh my, that was a free spell. Okay. Yep, we got a great turn here, everyone. So we'll attack. Get our free 4 in. Damage. Legion's Landing. The Loxodon here. Boom. Get the tokens, and there is no way our opponent is coming back from that with 3 lands. That is game. 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 This would be impressive. This would be an impressive comeback. I don't know what quite possibly it could be. 3 shocks to the face is 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Plus an opt, 13. A beacon bolt. Yep. Now I guess a shock here. No, that's still 8 damage. Boom! Alright, alright. Well, that is our good matchup, but it looks like it was sneaking away there for a second. But we managed to pull through. It's just so hard for them to deal with threats when you can kind of like play multiple threats in a turn. When you can play multiple threats in a turn, it just gets too much for Drakes to handle. Drakes is very good at dealing with stuff on a 1-for-1 basis, while playing gigantic creatures that are tough to deal with. But those gigantic creatures also have a vulnerability to white-based enchantment removal, like Conclave Tribunal. So it's a bad matchup for them, and a good one for us. Stay tuned for the 3rd round. Okay, this hand on the draw is very nice. Close to perfect. We will take it. Alright. Mono red, maybe? That can be a difficult matchup sometimes. We'll start with... I'm going to start with Snubs here just because it's very hard to kill, and our opponent can't shock it. So I'd rather play something that couldn't be killed on the spot this turn. Oh, missed land drop. Did our opponent keep? Oh, it looks like they did mulligan. Alright, we'll take it. We'll take it. Alright, we'll play the TT. Now our opponent cannot shock this. That ties up our opponent quite nicely there. More than they already tied themselves up. Alright, well, looks like we're going to get an easy one here. History. Get on in there, TT. Now next turn we get to Legion's Landing. Yeah, our opponent's just dead. Alright, maybe I shouldn't say just dead, but... Alright, well, we will play Legion's Landing for sure. Now we will pay 2 life. Conclave Tribunal with the new creatures. No. We can do this better. We can do this in a better way. Nope, there's no way we can make a token still, I don't think. Maybe there is. I'm not sure about this. So we'll go like this. I mean, we're going to win regardless, but I want to play optimally. Oh, yeah, you have to legend one of these, so. Yeah, we can't flip that yet, so it does not matter. 1, the creatures we can't attack with. Conclave this. Attack for 3. Flip Legion's Landing. Boom. You guys think we'll be okay this game? Alright, mono red. They stumbled, but they still have an okay matchup against us. So it's definitely nothing to be overly confident about. Now, these are the kind of cards we really got to take out. You got to be weary of the Chain Whirler and just all these X1s that don't do something. Like, this is an X1, but it protects something else, so it's fine. We'll take a Johnny. We will take the other Deputy. I think we want a couple negates here. We'll take both of Johnny's. Now, I think maybe Spell Pierce is probably fine. Spell Pierce or Tecatli for their creatures. On the draw, I think Tecatli is fine. On the play, we might have Spell Pierce. I don't want a bunch of Tecatlis because Tecatlis do shut down our stuff as well. So we have to be very wary about when we play those. But it protects from the Chain Whirler sometimes, so they're decent. Alright, we can keep this. Not great, but not a mulligan. Alright. Key 2 Lava Run On. 5th land, not what we want to see, but still don't think the hand is a mulligan, but it is close. I will block. You don't have 0/3s to attack. Alright, that card sucks for us. Ooh, hello. Let's get rid of it then. Pretty good, pretty good. No attacks. Our 0/3 is not going on the aggressive yet, believe it or not. Alright. I think we'll just get the Deputy down. It's something they're probably going to kill anyways, but if they don't have a way to kill it, now if they have Wizard's Lightning, they have to actually have a Wizard first. We might just be slam dunking this this mono red player pretty hard. Okay, well that's then we're doing just fine. Okay, we're drawing pretty poorly from this point here. So we could go like this and Conclave, but this card just is not good enough to Conclave, plain and simple. Alright, that's a good card. That might ascend us 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, still a little bit away from that. We'll attack here though. Next turn looks like we'll be able to ascend that snubs. Okay, pretty good. All right, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if we play the Conclave, we do ascend. So now it's worth it just to be able to get in there with snubs and actually pressure a little bit. Even though we are drawn quite poorly, if our opponent just goes Chain Whirler, we're pretty shut down, you know? Maybe that's some reason to hold it. Yeah, I actually really don't like the spot we're in right now. Like a history or something would be great. Oh, okay, all right, Johnny. Johnny's pretty good. I think we'll just tick up for now. And returning a snubs is... Yeah, I don't want to just get a Johnny shocked yet. So the value is not quite there yet. No real need to play this land. I mean, we don't have anything that costs 7. No Nexus in this deck, even though we could cast it. Yikes. Well, now I'll bring back snubs. Enter this tapped and hope our opponent doesn't absolutely go off on us with Frenzy. Now we're presenting lethal at least. Another land on top would be GG. Okay. Okay. That's a scary combo. Ooh. Okay, now this is great. We get to go history and pump them both. Pump, pump. Get on in there. Would you like to chump? No? Alright, this might be our game. Okay, I guess I shouldn't say that yet. Whenever you have Runaway Steamkin plus Frenzy, it can really go in any direction here, so. Well, our opponent stumbled a lot. Our opponent stumbled, you know, to oblivion game 1. Didn't do that well in game 2. But, you know, I mean, our sources of inevitability, like the Ajani and the histories, that give us a lot more value, pulled us through, even though, I mean, we did not have a good draw either. So, not too bad there. Stay tuned for our 4th round. Round 4 time. And we get to go first. How lucky. Sound looks great. At first, I thought maybe we had 3 Glacial Fortress and it would be much worse, but the 1 Hollowed Fountain makes it just completely perfect. Alright, so we want to start with the Legion's Landing because it actually deals damage right away. The TT is pretty solid for later. Alright, what do we got? Looks like maybe control. The Taker is pretty good against control, I have to say. And then we can flip this before our opponent can wrath us. Yeah, that is the nice part, is, yeah, our opponent playing control just probably cannot beat that card half the time. Which we love, So it's got to be control. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense why they would concede so prematurely. So with that being the case, I think we want this. We don't want this. We don't want this. Now, Lyra can be a problem. So 3 cards we got to take out. We probably need to leave in some number of this realistically. Hawks are probably the worst. 1 drop. Yeah, we'll leave in 1 Conclave. Loxodons actually aren't great against Wrath decks either. I think this looks good, though. We'll go like this. Oh, yeah, and of course there's that land in the sideboard that doesn't pop up on Arena for some reason, which is a clear bug, but we would bring in that land as well. So that's kind of lame right now. I hope they're fixing that soon. Because we could use it. We need 2 land for this to be an effective hand. If this was a Hollowed Fountain, I think I would probably keep it, but we got a mulligan. This hand's way better. I think I'll keep this. Yeah, a little bit of interaction here. We do have 2 Glacial Fortresses, so that's not great, but... Okay, that was good. I think we just want to play the 1 drops here. We're kind of taking a risk that they don't have Cry. Alright, they don't have it this turn though, so we get to kind of play around it from now on. We will attack. Damage. We'll cast this. And say go. Now we get to play around Kai's Wrath and then flip Legion's Landing next turn. This might be a quick match. Alright, we'll play Legion's Landing. Get on in there, flip this, and that's all we're going to do for the rest of the game. Now let's hope they don't have Kai's Wrath. Or I mean, let's hope they do have Kai's Wrath, not Cry. Kai's Wrath, Kai's Wrath, Kai's Wrath. Cry would be lame. Ooh. That's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's still pretty good, but... Can we even get in there anymore? We can for sure with the flyer. Ooh, now we can. Maybe that's just lethal? Looks like 10. That's 10 damage. So even if they Wrath, we can maybe just sneak in the last point with this. And now we still have the flyer. We'll say go and a little bit of interaction here. This might be a quick one. Boom! That's how you destroy Esper control right there in fashion. Alright, everybody, stick around for our 5th and final round. Alright, we're winning the die rolls like it's going out of style here. Let's go first. Ooh. That sounds pretty bad. Honestly, there's no payoffs. It's a bunch of 1-drops. Gotta mulligan this. This hand is great. This hand is great. I would love to keep. A snubs, huh? It is a 1-drop, so we can maybe flip Legion's Landing. Against the right draw, it's actually pretty good. I'm not positive if this is the draw, but... if we're playing against mono red or something, this was a pretty bad top. But if we're playing against anything that's a little slower, even that is probably fine. So here I'm going to attack, even though I don't want him to block, to be honest. But usually their Llanowar Elves are more important. Yeah. You gotta kind of value when you should or should not, because this deck's all about getting those little bit of damage in while you can. And, yeah, you gotta realize how much they value their spells just as much as how much we value ours. Wild Growth. Let's let us attack. Hooray. Now we get to have a history lesson. We needed that. We needed that. So if we would have bottom snubs, we would have drew Hawk, and it would have been kind of the same anyways, but... alright, what do we got? Like a Chupacabra or something? A Chupacabra, man. Retro. Probably just takes the token. Yeah, it's safer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can ascend with these two. That does seem better. Just to be able to get in for 5 here. Alrighty. Ascend them. Snubs is bad sometimes, but there's situations like this where it is so good. 2 1-mana 3/3s here on turn 4 or whatever. Like, our opponent's just dead. With this history coming off and then Marshal, like, yeah, the history coming off is only pumping 1 creature 2 power, but the Marshal is adding 9 power to the board. This deck is all about just abusal of power. Like, it's for the small amount of mana, if any mana, that you pay for the most ridiculous cards. Like, it's so good. Our opponent has to have, like, a Chupacabra. Yeah, Krasis. Don't think that's enough, but maybe. We're going to attack with everything and not even do math, so. Math is for blockers. They cannot find finality, which would just absolutely wreck us, but let's see. So 3, 4. Okay, so they have to block these 2, so they're taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, that's just game. Boom. Get them on in there. This is our worst matchup, though, so I don't like this matchup in a vacuum here. But it's winnable. You know, I mean, it can be tougher. but it's just, it's winnable. Our opponent's just like, oh, let's make the proper blocks. Oh, wait, I'm dead. Oh, yeah. This deck is good. Alright, so we want Tecatlis. We want, ends. Probably want deputies. Cards I don't know about. Hawks are pretty bad. TTs are not very good either. And we'll bring in one Ajani. Maybe two Ajanis and we'll take out the deputy here. We'll give that a shot. Alright, maybe the last game of our Droppin' Baums this week. Thank you all for joining me again. I appreciate you. Alright. And anybody who loves the Dropping Bombs, feel free to check out my stream. I stream on Twitch as of about 2 months ago. So you can check out CoreyB_MTG on Twitch. Streaming pretty consistently. I'm pretty much full-time streaming in between testing for like Mythic Championships and testing for Grand Prix, stuff like that. I'm pretty much always there. So check me out there, my friends. I always play my Dropping Bomb deck when it comes out, just to give a little live action depth into the deck that I'm showcasing. Okay. I see you, deck. This looks good. All right. See, this is like this is about the nuts of the deck, is being able to have a Legion's Landing plus 2 other 1-drops for your for turns 1 and 2, and then into history. It's just it's about as good as it gets. It is as good as it gets. What would be the ideal ones? I guess Legion's Landing for sure, and then 2 aspirants maybe? Maybe 2 snubs? I don't know, it's also good. And another history to back it up. This could be a quick one. We're going to send our opponent to school. It's time to go to history class, my least favorite class in school. I really did hate history. I really did. Just never took interest. I've always been a math guy. Maybe that's why I was drawn to Magic, you know. I've never enjoyed okay, 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Nope, cannot flip yet. So we're just going to get in there for 1. And get our history on. Now a Johnny next turn to push stuff over the edge. This could be good. Could be like a Ritual Soot or something, though, too. That's backbreaking. Alright. Now, what to play? I think we're just going to do a history again. Because if our opponent has Contempt, which I think they do, I don't want it used on a Johnny. That ascends. We're going to try to get on in there. It's probably not going to work. Wow. Now we maybe can play a Johnny. So our opponent just doing nothing? They're just giving it to us? Alright. Now I kind of think we do want to just beef up these tokens while we can. Not playing into Wraths. These knights are going to be big. They're still not going to be able to live through finality in 2 turns, but yep. Hey, that was great. That was a great exchange. We really gave our opponent a nice tempo swing here. Now I think they're in trouble. Okay, so gonna tap this for mana because we're gaining mana anyways with this Legion landing. History. Go like this. Maybe kind of bluff that we have a counter spell. Transform. Your turn. That could be it. Vivian? That doesn't do anything. You're dead. You're dead. I'll attack for 10. And that's the end of Droppin' Bombs. That was pretty good timing. I'm pretty proud of myself. Ooh, and we're almost to Mythic. Accomplishing the near Mythic on Dropping Bombs. That's pretty cool. Everyone, I want to thank you so much for tuning in for this edition of Droppin' Bombs. Feel free to check out the deck tech that's going to be after this. Like I said, check out my Twitch here at CoreyB_MTG if you want to see more of this beautiful face only a mother could love. And feel free to check out the write-up at TCGplayer.com. We'll have a short sideboard guide for this as well. See you in the deck tech. And welcome to the deck tech, my friends. Okay, so this is a pretty straightforward build here. Nothing really too different is going on except the fact that there's 4 Suntail Hawks and Tith Taker in a 4 of, and no real Adonto Vanguard. I think that card had its time and place, and I don't think it's here anymore. You know, I just don't think the card is powerful enough. Cards that I am a little unsure about are the Snub Sentry and Hawk numbers. Those are interchangeable. I'm not really sure. They are both great in their certain situations. Like, this is a great mirror match card. Being able to tap Loxodon with this and start attacking for 2/2 lifelink really sets the game in a different pace. But other than that, this is pretty standard. Just drop a bunch of white creatures on the battlefield. Play some deputies or conclave tribunals as interaction, and then Loxodons for your absolutely explosive draws. Really not too much to dive deep into here. As far as the sideboard, we do have an island here, if you guys didn't notice. Arena, for some reason, does not let you sideboard basic lands, so that's a problem that needs to be fixed for sure. But we have 5 pieces of counterspells: Disdainful Stroke, 2 negates, 2 spell pierces, as your ways to interact with control, Nexus, really, I think that's it. Gates deck, that's about it. Sultai you can bring in Disdainful Stroke sometimes. We also have Tocatlis for Sultai. Sultai is your worst matchup, plain and simple. But we are seeing a decline of Sultai lately, and we're seeing an increase of these mono blue strategies and Nexus decks. With that being the case, this deck actually becomes a lot better. But if Sultai's dominating, this is not the time for White Weenie. But, you know, just decide based on your metagame for that. But if it is more control and more Nexus, you kind of smash, or Drakes, or mono blue. Like, this deck smashes all of them. So, use this game as a metagame call that's also just very powerful. I put a 3rd Deputy in here. I think the card's insane. It's great in the mirror match. It's really good against Nexus decks. And then you have Ajani's kind of for a little bit slower, more grindy games. It's something that you can either play into Wrath so they don't completely destroy you, or you can play it against Sultai when you want to not progress your board anymore, but you want to maybe get back like a bodyguard to protect one of your creatures or something. Like, it really does a lot, and I'm considering playing a 3rd. But I want to thank you all so much for watching this week's Dropping Bombs. We've been doing some work. Like I said, I 7-1'd the Magic Online Championships a while back here, and I think the deck is still powerful. I still think it's one of the best Tier 1 strategies you can be doing right now. So go drop some little white creature bombs on people, okay? We'll see you next week.